going to look at drafting the Rever collar, the typical suit or coat collar that we all recognise on most tailor jackets and formal wear. So just having an overview of what the basic draft looks like. There's quite a bit going on, and we can see the top part there with the collar. We can see where the collar has been changed, and then over here we can start to see the beginning of the collar pieces. So it's quite an advanced thing that we're looking at. There are many methods of doing this, or different variations on it. Some are more complicated than the other. I can assure you that this method is one of the simpler ones. And so we're going to break it down into different stages. So the first thing that we need is to copy around the front basic torso block. Now, this one is in half scale. You could use the quarter scale one, but the measurements get a bit small, but you might just want to plot out what the diagram looks like as opposed to going all the way through the exercise. So when we look at the finished tailored jacket pattern, we recognise this square kind of neckline, and this is what the collar looks like roughly. So we're going to make something similar to this today. So I have copied around the front. We don't need to copy around the back today for this, but obviously we would need to consider the back. One of the things that we need is we need this measurement, the shoulder seam to the centre back measurement, and that's approximately 4 centimetres. Sometimes you will see with this method that people also lower the back neckline. We're not going to worry about that today. So I've copied around the front, and I've cut it out. So I've cut it out there. And looking at the one I made earlier, we can see that we have slash lines. And what we're doing is we're fanning out, we're opening out along the roll line, break line, that purple line that is running through. So this is to help the collar fold over, roll over and sit nicely. This slashing in method isn't always necessary, but if we were doing it for a jacket, we would do that. And so we are going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4 slash lines from the chest line. And so to get that, we would be measuring from the neck point down to the chest line and dividing by 4 for equal measurements. And so for me, how much was that for me? It was about 2.5, but that's taking a little bit of leeway each way. It's not 100% accurate. And so in real scale, it's normally about a 5 centimetre gap with this size block. So we are drawing through to the neckline. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And let's just annotate that at 2.5-ish, 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 not fish. And then we are going to slash along these lines from the centre front edge, or the neckline edge, through, going careful so as not to cut through into the armhole and make it fall apart. So we will then need to stick this down, and when we stick it down, we are going to open them in real scale about 0.5 to about 0.7 open, so they fan out. So they will look like that. So that will be ready to start drafting the collar.